Even better than the waterbuck sighting. Right. But anyways, very nice way to end my cycle. And off you go back to Brent, whose lions have decided that they're ready to wake up.
So they went through that little greeting ceremony, and now they're on the move. So I say it is quite risky for us because we are on the boundary at the moment. Sorry, someone's just calling me on the radio. Standing by behind, I'm here, Tux and Aubrey making their way. They're busy moving north up Chitwa line at the moment. Oh, they're going to flop again. That's not unusual. Firm, you'll be first standby. Okay, there we go. As you can see, this is not unusual behavior for lions to get up and start moving and then stop again for a little bit. Copy yours. And so just the other guys wanting to make their way here. So it's all the girls, the big girls, up and about in front of us at the moment. Oof! Flatulent lion. They are very smelly creatures, lions. Now, here come, oh, they're flopping on each other down there, the little ones. Now, Fonua, yes, lionesses will actually often cheat on their male coalitions, and in certain parts of Africa, up to 48% of the cubs born to a pride are from nomadic males. So that will move through and will mate with the female. So if a male fails to join a coalition or happens to be out on his own when he sets off, a lot of these males become solely nomadic. And what they'll do is they will mate on the sly, on the sneak, with the lioness when she's an estrus before moving on to an area. And often those are quite good genetics, obviously, because that male lion's managed to survive by himself up into an age where he's able to breed. And he keeps moving and keeps doing that. And that's the way for a solitary male lion to pass on genetics, to pass on his genetics if he isn't able to control a pride. Let's have a look what the little boy is going to get up to here. And see if he's going to flop down onto one of the lionesses. He might get a swat. Oh no, he's going to flop down all by himself. Here comes the rest of the littles. Now we're getting a bit macabre here. Tanzania Travels would like to know, would lions ever kill and eat a pride member in desperation? Not that I've ever heard of before, but if a pride member is killed while hunting buffalo or by another lion or something like that, there have been records of their pride eating them. There you go. As I said, this is not unusual behavior for lions at all. Get up, stretch, do a bit of grooming, then get moving, then flop down again, then get moving, then flop down again. And you can see as the temperature drops, they should become more active, especially because they are so hungry. I mean, yes and no. I mean, they have a sense of direction, and not in terms of what we would traditionally call a sense of direction. They know the boundaries of their home range and of their core areas, but I wouldn't say they know north from south. But a lot of that direction will be controlled by scent of other prides, and also from the vocalizations of other prides will determine their sort of movements. No, there's still one more on the way. Francis, the buffaloes are constantly on the move, so I'm sure there's buffalo somewhere around, but at the moment most of the buffalo have been in the Manyeleti on the lovely gabbro grasses, but they do move to and from. And of course, as we know, this pride likes to specialize in buffalo. Okay, let's move around to the side of them. Yeah, Tux, make your way. It's just me, and then Johan on first standby, yours on second. Okay, while we get ourselves into a good position to view them, let's send you to Madam McCurdy to see what she's up to.
Well, very exciting, very exciting. Now, we've got an Impala, not quite like lions, but we stopped him. We were trying to figure out what he was doing, because he was stopping, he was listening and looking, stopping, looking, listening, and we got excited. We thought, oh, maybe there's a leopard here, but there isn't. I think he's just on high alert because he's all by himself. What is that noise? I wonder if there's a little owlet or something that's around here, having a little nibble. He's covered in flies here. That is very unpleasant. Please let there be no stink bugs tonight. Pretty please. Otherwise I'm wrapping my face in my scarf. Oh no, it was a dove making that noise. Look, he actually even turned and listened to it. On absolute high alert, as you can see. Just constantly looking around. And this is where it is going to get dangerous for the Impala. He hasn't got a herd of females with him. So it's up to, well, I suppose just himself, hey? So look, after his 6 o'clock, you can see those ears are working overtime now. He's even nibbling quietly, just in case. But I'd also be scared because Shidulu might be in the area too. But let's carry on up a little bit further. I'm hoping we get to see some little owls. I'd like to see a southern white-faced scops owl. David, maybe we can go and check. The other night on Inyala Road North, we saw one. It was quite cool. Maybe he'll be back. We'll check a little bit later. Not quite just yet. So for now, we're going to go up Gallagher. And then we're going to go... not... Apparently, I'm lagging. So off you go to Steve.
Sorry about Taylor's technical issues. We are slowly making our way back to camp. As you probably saw, Taylor, the sun has already set. It's just getting quite dark. We just take a little detour back, trying to get through the thickness here. And obviously, we have to pay very special attention to our surroundings as it gets darker. Not too many fresh signs or activities coming in from the north. Some zebra tracks, some giraffe tracks, some old buffalo tracks, but some old leopard, and obviously those elephant that we had for a little bit. But nothing fresh coming in towards where we're headed now. That's okay. It's been a marvellous afternoon out on foot with Seb. First time I've been out with Seb in some time, and he is caught on a very thorny branch. That is a knobthorn, probably a knobthorn branch. And you never tackle the knobthorn branch without bleeding. So I've no doubt Seb's going to have a couple wounds, but don't worry, he's a very strong man. He will survive. But it's getting dark. The moon is just coming up over there. It's probably about 3 days from full. And then we could probably do some night walks. Hey, Seb, you keen? A night walk.
Yeah, why not?
Only joking. I don't like walking at night. There we go. Dream, you'd like to know how often fires happen. Well, fires are in the savanna biome, sort of happen every 3 to 7 years. That's sort of the frequency that allows the savanna biome to be the biome that it is. But it all depends on the fuel load. You need lots and lots of grass to create the fire, or to burn and then you need the ignition point. So a lot of these areas are quite heavily controlled when it comes to management, and they try and keep the fires out so they can make controlled fires when conditions are better. So for example, burning at this time of day when it's much cooler, there's hardly any wind, be a lot cooler fire than if you burnt in the middle of the day in summer. So these are things that people take into consideration. There's lots of private property around, so every one of these properties has got a fire break, so that if a fire comes in from the north or wherever, you can put it out if need be, so that you can protect the infrastructure that you have in and around. But fire is instrumental out here for the change in the dynamics of grass and trees. The Sabi Sands is very big. Rex, how big is the Sabi Sands? Do you remember? 75,000 hectares, the Sabi Sands itself, and you can double that to get the acreage. Acres are just about double that, but the Kruger National Park itself is about 4.4 million acres, 2.2 million hectares. So that is a really, really big area. And when we talk about fuel load, this is kind of what you're looking at. You see all that biomass there, all this grass cover, but a lot of what you see is in fact the flower or the grass inflorescence. That's, ow, there we go. Karma is that was very sore, and Karma just bit me in the back of the leg. Okay, well, it appears like that Brent is doing better than we are, not bleeding, and let's see what his cat's up to.
Well, they did what often happens with lion prides. They got up, moved a little bit, flopped over, went back for a snooze, but they're still definitely more alert, more active than they were a bit earlier. Heads are up. The temperature is dropping rapidly at the moment. Probably just here, you'll hear another game drive vehicle that's also here, and also the lovely call of a pearl-spotted owlet in the distance. As well as the noisy going-ons of one of the noisiest birds out here at all times, the fork-tailed drongo. There we go, some greeting, flopping. So these little moments between lion prides. Oh, we got a bit of a sore foot there. Nothing too serious, but a little bit of a limp. Now, as I said, these little intimate moments between lion prides when they're not feeding are very important, as it helps reaffirm the bonds between the pride, because when they are feeding, they can be incredibly aggressive with each other. All table manners go out the door. Now, these little lions are still a bit of rather more of a hindrance than a help when it comes to hunting. Who cares? It'll be a while yet before they're actually sort of useful, effective members of the hunting party. They're still a bit small. Often at this stage is the age where they often give away hunts by being very keen to participate, but not quite having the experience or the patience. Now, if you had to leave one of these lions all off on its own, one of these sub-adults, without the threat of other lions, obviously, and hyenas, they would learn to hunt by themselves very quickly. You do not need to teach a lion how to hunt. All that is instinctively there. They know exactly what they need to do from the day they're born. Oh, going back to snooze. sitting with lions at the right time of the day. Okay, they're most active in the 2 to 3 hours after sunset and the 2 to 3 hours before sunset. That is when the most big cats are most active. Now, we're going to sit here patiently. Hopefully they do get up and on the move and don't visit our eastern neighbors. While we wait, let's see what Steve's found.
Yeah, well, what we've found is a very dead buffalo, almost as dead as Seb after his injury with the thorns back there. He's joking. But this is an enormous buffalo bull, and Rexon was telling me that this was actually a bull that was taken out of a breeding herd by the Nkuhumas. So, an enormous buffalo. I mean, the size of this, the weight of that. You imagine trying to have that around on your neck all day, and the angle of these horns here, very, very smooth, and the buffalo is able to hook it underneath anything and lift it very, very well. Amazing how they can just lift their head, turn their head down and hook with that horn there. And I was saying earlier about buffaloes busy rubbing their heads against trees and things. They also get these living, while they're alive, they also get these horn borer moths that burrow into the horn, and it's almost like something moving around in your brain casing, busy munching away at the keratin in there, and they make the cocoon, and then they hatch out as a moth. So quite amazing how the Nkuhumas were able to bring down an enormous buffalo like this. Not an easy meal. You'd think they would go for maybe a smaller female or a youngster, but to physically take on this giant would have been a very hard ask for them. And that is why lions get the injuries that they get. Don't know how that one Nkuhuma got that injury on her back, on her hip, but it seems to be healing nicely. But tackling a big animal like this can only lead to you getting very, very injured. So it seems like Taylor's on the move, and we're going to be making our way back to camp quite quickly. So let's go to her.
Except I'm not allowed to go back to camp. Not that I want to go back just yet, because it's been the most beautiful evening out here. It really has been a great afternoon, not necessarily filled with hundreds and thousands of animals, but David and I were talking, we're so lucky that this is our job. You know, even if we don't see any animals, we're still able to drive around in the bush, breathe in all this wonderful fresh air that kind of smells a little bit elephanty this afternoon, and a bit woody, a bit smoky. I don't know, there's lots of scents that are sort of blowing around this evening, and just to see the sunset like we did, amazing. Oh my gosh, James, this is too hard to answer. I don't know if I have one highlight from the cycle. I thoroughly enjoyed all the wild dog sightings I had. They were all great. I enjoyed the mongoose, and the hornbills was an absolute cracker. That was such a great experience too. I've had some really amazing leopard sightings, some cool interactions between Thandi and Hosana, seeing Tamba. We didn't actually see him bring down that female kudu, that fully grown cow, but still, we know that he was the one that killed it. Amazing. That was incredible. Didn't think that he'd be strong enough to bring him down. Just the changes, having the avoca males come and stir, nonsense. Hukumuri coming in, seeing him a couple of times. That's been fantastic. Lots of birds. A bird party this morning I really enjoyed with the blue waxbills and the green-winged partilia. That was lovely. So I've been very spoiled. I have in fact seen a number of incredible things out here. And then, well, the people, hey? Don't we work with such a nice team? The gees, that's South Africa's favorite word, gees. The spirit, the positive vibes that we have in camp is always nice. I went to the Kruger National Park yesterday. I didn't even went to Kruger. It was so much fun. We saw elephants, lots of elephants. All the elephants are between Satara and Aupen Gates, and all the zebra there too. May have seen the McCurdy herdie, who's a herd of zebra that we spent a lot of that with last year that lived up here on the plains behind camp. We then also, yeah, lots of things. But I'll continue chatting about them. I'll tell you a little bit more about Kruger when you come back to me next. Let's go back to Brent.
Well, here come the lions. Right down Cheetah Cut line. Fortunately for us, they haven't moved off to the east just yet. So I'm just going to keep still. They're right next to me. And so close. I'm just watching the monitor. Now remember, I've got no door when those lions walk past. It is an awesome, awesome feeling. I don't want to move too much when they do that because I don't have a door and my big feet. How cool is this? Absolutely awesome. Vernalia, it is completely safe to do safaris with open trucks at night. As you can see, the cats completely ignore us, and we get to see some very interesting behavior by them during the night. Here comes the next little troublemaker. Right next to us again. A little bit more nervous, one of the younger ones. It's watching Senzo, checking his new haircut. Senzo's do has come loose, so he's got half long, half short hair now at the moment. He's confused. Hello, kitties. Hello, kitties. We are incredibly privileged to be able to sit this close to the biggest cats in Africa. Isn't this amazing? Oh, we're going to IR. Last two. There they go. Bye, kitties. Okay, let's keep up with them. As I say, I'm hoping they don't disappear into Torchwood. Okay, well, let's keep up with the lions. While we do that, we're going to send you across to Steve and Taylor, who have managed to bump into each other.
Indeed. We just stopped on the road. We heard a vehicle approaching. We were going to hide in the bushes. I'm only joking, we won't. And look who we came across.
I don't know why there's such a creepy face.
That was quite a creepy face. So we are on our way home. It's been a fantastic afternoon. Apparently we're more entertaining than lions. Thanks, Luke. Well, you know, the lions are cool. We're cooler. It's just the way it is sometimes. But we're nearly home. We're probably about 4 minutes out, so we're going to keep walking. We're going to say goodbye to these lovely people. Dave looks like he's almost got his infrared light on. Marvellous stuff, Davisito. Have a fantastic rest of your drive, guys, and we'll see you back at camp in the next half hour or so for something refreshing to drink. There, she's got her dance moves down. And while she continues her dance moves, we're going to move on into the very fading light as the crested Franklin's alarm calling behind us here. And it's been a marvellous afternoon. Thank you for joining us on Bushwalk. Thank you to Rexon for the assistance, and to Seb, and to all of you. We will see you tomorrow bright and early. And on that note, let's go to Brent with his very exciting lions.
Well, we're not looking at the moment. We're trying to get up ahead of them. So I'm just going to do that now. I'm just going to go see how far down the road they are. They're still coming. Unfortunately for us, they are not going east just yet. As you'll see, Taxon and Aubrey are also in the sighting with us. So let's just move past them. Okay. Song of Rain. I have had lions stop and take a sniff at me before. I have even been scent marked by a male lion once. I was parked here and there was a gori bush, and he stopped next to the gori bush and he sprayed me. Can you see them there, Sense? Okay. Now we have switched into infrared, however the game drive vehicles will still be using their spotlights while following the lines until they start hunting. Oh, did they decide to take a break after we've shot all the way down the road in front of them? No, it looks like they are on the move again. Are we having a little rest? As I say, that's not unusual lion behavior at all. Walk, flop down, walk, flop down. Occasionally, yes, Venalia lions do visit the edges of the camp. We haven't had lions in camp, but in the Mara we've had lions in our camp there on a couple of occasions. I found something interesting to sniff down there. We were hoping they were going to keep walking towards us. We're just going to wait a little bit longer to see what they do. Okay, well, it looks like these lions are going to walk right up to us now, or at least one of the lionesses. So we're just going to sit tight right in this very spot. She should come right to us. That's why we parked a bit further down the road. You can see her eyes reflecting in the infrared, and she's heading towards us. Isn't that quite airy? Oh, and she heard something. If she's heard something in that direction, it's good for us, because that's back into Djuma. Now, you might see some flashes from the guests on the photographic vehicles. The flash photography does not bother the lions. It's not going to interfere with them at all. They are completely oblivious to it. See, here comes the rest of the pride now. And so they should walk right up to us. Isn't that cool? Looking at those eyes. I just heard on the radio, I'm not sure if Taylor's been listening to the radio, but apparently there's a leopard on Impala plains, and I think Taylor is quite close to there. So if final control, can you pass that on to T? Here they come right up to us again. Senzo's just whispered, scary. Look at that, isn't that cool? They're stopping, smelling, listening. T-Heart, indeed it is spooky. No, no, no Nkuhumas. Bad Nkuhumas. Bad, don't go that way. We want you to keep going that way. We don't want them to walk down that road. Unfortunately, that is the closest water, is down that road. So we don't really want them. They haven't seemed to have made up their mind that they are all going down there just yet. And I think if they do, we're not going to get too many more views of our beloved Nkuhuma Pride. And look at this girl, how close they are to us. As you can see, they take no notice of the vehicles. I mean, they're right next to us. I don't worry about switching off the infrared sends, I'm sure, for a few seconds. Yes! Good girls! Good girls. Not going to Torchwood yet. They are acting like they've heard something. There are often quite a lot of waterbuck around here. Also the odd zebra. The zebras have moved this far already. Oof, isn't this magic? Beaver, no, they're not going to see the predator's eyes shining in the infrared. The same as they wouldn't see an impala's eyes shining in the infrared. So they stopped and trying to decide which way to go again. Saskia, lions when they're moving like this are very, very quiet. You're just hearing their footfalls. They're not making any calls or noises because, of course, they're all together. And they want to be as silent as possible with the evoker males around. No, we are still hoping that they go left and not right. And go left before the next boundary, which is, it's still quite far though. Oh, magic. No, Sue, none of the lionesses are pregnant. They've all had cubs recently, or lost cubs recently, and they're probably going to try avoid mating because of the evoker males. Let me move forward a little bit there, Sens. They've all suddenly decided they're going the right direction, guys. They're turning left, which is what we want. Something seems to have caught their attention off to the left. As I said, this is quite a productive area. There could even be an old buffalo bull in this area. But I think the most likely animals that are going to find in this area from what I've seen today is waterbuck and kudu. Okay. Now it looks like they are going into Djuma. So we might have to do some work to keep up with them. I've got a plan though, don't worry, I've always got a plan. I know we have Central Road. I'm going to have to go in. I was just trying to think if there was an open area I might be able to zoot around to, but I don't think there is. Okay, so I'm going to try to see where these lions are going, try to stick with them. While we do that, let's send you back across to Taylor.
Who's racing? Because I'm always racing somewhere, aren't I? Either to a sale. No, I'm just joking. I'm never racing to a sale ever because I live in the middle of nowhere. To an online sale maybe. But we are racing to a leopard sighting. I don't know of who. Apparently it's a male leopard on Impala plains. So we're going. We're not far. I need to just drop a gear though. Now you'll see multitasking, presenting, spotlighting, Ferrari safaring. But we're not wild dog Ferrari safaring. Don't get too excited. It's not that bad. It always looks like we're going a lot faster than we really are in these dirt roads. These things get out of my way when I'm trying to get somewhere quickly. They slow you down. I'm going to take them strategically. I'm going to handbrake turn around the next bend. Are you ready, Darby? Yeah. I liked that response. Okay, we're not really going to handbrake turn. We'll try. We'll drift. We're not. Also, we're not. It's a big joke. All an act. Now, Max, obviously it's a little bit darker now. We're doing drives until 6:30 p.m. Central African time. So around then. But like normally when you're with guests, we'd probably still be finishing at around 7 p.m., 7:30, staying out a bit later. But it's coming into winter now, so our drives are starting earlier, the sun's setting. Okay, we're almost at our handbrake turn destination. Almost there. One last hop, skip, and a jump. Oh, this is the coolest thing to do in the bush. One-handed drive, no-handed driving. Look at me go. I do apologize if I'm not focusing on all of you, but I want to try and get there quickly. Luckily, Ballanites Road is not a particularly long road, so we're almost there. Thank you. Yes, I am mature. I'm so mature. Thank you very much, Luke, for saying that. I don't behave like a kid ever. I'll be a big kid for the rest of my life. My whole life. You try to tell me anything else, and I just won't listen to you. I'm also trying to not eat the bugs. Like, that's actually my main goal here. We might see a leopard, but I don't want to eat any stink bugs tonight. Okay, we're almost here. Now, Bridge, I was talking about these sort of speed bumps. They're not actually speed bumps. Typically, these humps in the road will have a drain dug off to the side. So they form part of a mitre drain. So that when we do have a lot of rain and the water doesn't sort of congregate in the road, it sort of goes off to the side. But they do function as speed bumps. They work very well. Okay, we're going to arrive at Impala Plains. I see lights! I see lights! Yay! Let's see which leopard it is. Now, we, of course, are probably going to infrared in a minute. Let's just see what's going on here. And the car is not moving. Let me announce that I'm here. I don't think I can announce anything because there's much chatter on the radio. I did tell them I was going to be there fairly quickly. We're going slowly. Obviously not. You never Ferrari safari into a sighting, that's for sure. There's a snorkeling Impala off to the right of me. Okay. Oh, it's on the move, David. It's walking. Okay, you ready, everybody? We are going to switch into infrared now. Thank you very much. I can see him. Sorry, I think the people thought I was going to drive into the leopard, but I can see him perfectly fine. David, he's coming behind the car. We're just trying to get into a position where we don't see the vehicle. Let me carry on. There he is. He's just gone in front of us now. Just around the bend. So we are in infrared. So this is the most amazing thing. He's now disappeared though, so we're going to have to catch up to him. We're really, really lucky, of course. We do very little interfering with the animals, and at night, thanks to our wonderful infrared lights. Here he goes. I don't know who we've got just yet. I'm going to just stop. Let's have a quick look. We'll let him carry on. Right in front of the road. What's going on here? Did those snorkeling Impala attract your attention, leopard? I want to say that this is Hukumuri, but I'm not sure just yet. Please look at us, leopard. Obviously hoping that the leopard is going to turn and look at us. That's going to be ideal. But look at that posture, creeping down lower than the grass. I think this leopard is on the hunt. Definitely on the hunt. Well, maybe not right now, but looking for something. Okay. Turn my lights off. We're going to drive in the dark. I still don't know who it is, but I bet you all know. You can tell me by hashtagging Safari Live. I just haven't had the leopard look at me yet, and unfortunately I'm not very good at identifying the cats from the back yet. I'll get there one day when I'm big. But I also just need to be careful. I'm going to put spotlight on here because I know there's a couple of mud wallows, and if I move off of the road, I don't want to be falling in a mud wallow. That's for sure. Also could be lots and lots of little things here, like daycare. So I can go off the road. So I'll let these guys have a view too. There we go. Still walking, still don't know who it is. Something wrong. Still just slinking on down. Just taking it very easy. Now I'm not showing too much interest in that Impala that ran off to the right. Like I said, we are in a sighting with other vehicles. They're probably going to use spotlights. We're going to not use ours, but we're lucky because we can see in infrared, which is really nice. Also, I can't see what's going on. It's very dark now. I hope that I don't drive into a stump. Have a little look. Anybody figured out who it is? I haven't got a clue yet. I'm going to say it's Hukumuri. I don't think it's Tingana. I don't know if he'd be venturing on this way. I think he may have he did creep back towards Chitwa. James Richard, you said it's Hukumuri. Amazing. I thought it would be him. I'll have another look at him again. He's not turning back and giving us his infamous stare, though, which is a pity. See that? Look there. Every little sound. He's turning his head very quickly, just looking around. So even though he's most likely going to be on like a territorial patrol, I haven't seen him mark yet, though. But it wouldn't surprise me if he cocks his tail every now and then and scent marks up against a shrub. Just listening, it's deathly quiet. There's no birds chirping, there's just insects. And he's stopped, he's heard something. And that's going to determine where he goes, of course. I hope he doesn't go off the road here. Well, I hope he can do whatever he likes as a leopard. But if he does that, we're going to be in trouble because it's so thick. It's very thick. I'm still just going all the way down the road. I would like to try and get past him. At the moment, the vegetation on either side is completely impenetrable, and we won't be able to do a little Mara maneuver, although we also get Sabi sand. What can we call? We get Mara maneuvers, and then we need something for the Sabi sand. Sabi sand. David? Sabi sand. Yeah, shuffle? Yeah, anybody chime in when you want? So we're looking for alliteration and something to just describe like a maneuver, a sneaky little trick. What a the Sabi sand swivel. I like that. That's from Lou in Final Control. There we go. He did just mark. Okay, I'm going to pull off to the left now. Now it's really quite cool. Please don't be a mud wallow, Taylor. You're supposed to check. Is that a man? There we go. Let's have one last look. Wonderful. Here he goes. The moonlight is on him now. So if there are any Impala around in the open, they're probably going to spot his silhouette. But Brent, of course, has got lions, and they thought, well, I think they'd heard something. Let's go and see if they're still on the move.
Well, they are. They've come back onto the boundary. But their focus is still towards Djuma side. I wonder if they have heard something in the blocks. No, on the move again. Let me just have a quick look, see if the others are coming. Not yet. Here come the rest. See, there's still a bit of ambient light to the west. Now, they are definitely gearing up for a hunt, Danelle. They are hungry. There's a lot of hungry lions in this pride. So they are definitely on the prowl, hoping to catch something. They've heard something, but you can't really, of course we can't really tell what it is. So they are listening and moving. They might hear the stomp of a buffalo's hoof, an old buffalo bull. They could hear kudu moving through the grass. So when the grass is long like this, they do rely heavily on their hearing to help them locate prey. Stop, listen. But they haven't showed that sort of proper crouch down behavior that the potential prey is close yet. I'm trying to listen as well. Of course, the lion's hearing is much better. And also there, all the subbies plonked down in the road behind us. All 6. And the 5 adults up ahead. So I wonder what's in this block here. I said very strong possibility waterbuck or kudu in this area. Amazing how still lions can be when they want to. Paula, I'm sure they hear something moving in the grass, some form of antelope, maybe a nyala even. Those ears out, listening carefully. It's one of those moments where I'm trying to listen so carefully, but I can't hear anything. One of the lionesses decided it's better to listen lying down. Now I'm not even sure which leopard Taylor's got. Apparently it might be Hukumuri, so let's go see if he's decided to get up and on the move.
Well, he's been up and on the move. He's just sat down now. He actually disappeared. I let the other vehicle jump on in front, and then they couldn't see where he went, so we decided to venture off-road just a little way, and then we found him, just sitting up in the grass. Classic Hukumuri. He likes to do this a lot, where he does just sit. I still have yet to see the front of his face, but I can't imagine what other big male leopards it may be moving around here. Other than his incredible stare, where he looks like he's put on about 30 coatings of eyeliner. Sorry, something's running in the bush. wonder if it's a couple of impala being chased around. But anyways, I haven't actually found any sort of key identifying features. For example, with Tingana, who used to be the resident male in this area but has been pushed out, he's got a smiley face on his shoulder. It's quite cool. Maybe someone can share a screenshot for all the new viewers out there. And then he's sort of got bluish eyes as well. And very tattered ears, old Tingana. And Hukumuri seems to still be well intact. No, he's just sleeping. Look at that, completely camouflaged. It's as if there's nothing even there. Now, he was up on the move and, you know, sort of very much awake. Eleanor, just going back very quickly to trying to figure out what we're going to call this Sabi sand version of the Mara maneuver. So, Eleanor, you said the Sabi sand sidestep. Love that. That's fabulous, but I believe there's a few more. Ready for number 2. Oh. Oh, I like that. Nancy, you share your name with my car. My car's name is Nancy. So you said the Sabi sand slip. I feel like that's what the leopards do to us. I think the leopards do the Sabi sand slip often. But I like that, especially if it's been a very rainy day. We could quite easily, on Impala Plains Road, do the Sabi sand slip. I've done that a few times myself, in fact. Often. I do it all the time. Okay, Luke in Final Control is directing. Jeannie says that yours wins. The Sabi sand, Samba. Is that what I heard? Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I like the Sabi sand sidekick. That's mine. Eleanor, in my eyes, you're the winner. You're already the winner. Sorry, if we didn't read them all out, you can tag me in them, and I'll choose my favorite a little bit later. But it just amazes me how this cat... Now, everybody is saying that it's definitely Hukumuri. No, that's fabulous. There was no doubt in my mind that it was him. Like I said, I couldn't imagine another big male leopard moving around so boldly as he is. I mean, this is quite far north for the Anderson male to come walking around. And I'm pretty sure that the Anderson male is much larger, much bulkier than Hukumuri is. Very interesting, though. He's paying attention, listening to every bit of movement. And this is a good area. We do see a lot of impala around here. That's why it's called, I suppose, Impala Plains. Hey, not because you see plenty of hippo, but there have been plenty big herds around and lots of competition between the males, as we know, coming into the rutting season. So I think he's going to try his luck with maybe a big ram that's a bit on the confused side and not quite thinking straight. And that will be the best option for him. And then there's plenty of big marula trees to go with it that he can stash his killer on a tree too. And it's also in an area that Shidulu likes to hang around. So maybe the two of them meet up. That's definitely a possibility. Everybody panic quickly. We only need 150 more subscribers until we reach 100,000 subscribers on our YouTube page. Please, please help us. If I had Maurice here, Maurice would be begging too. If we can get 150 likes this evening before the show ends, we haven't got long, we've only got a couple of minutes left. Brent said he will get onto the top of his car and do a dance for you. I mean, Brent is just so generous. He always takes one for the team. So let's go across to him and and hear how he feels about it.
Well, it all depends on how close I am to the Nkuhuma Pride before I do my dance. I might have to do a jig from in my seat if we get to the... what number is it? I think 100,000. So subscribe now, right now. Go subscribe if you haven't already. And the lions are still That's on YouTube, by the way. Go subscribe on YouTube. I probably should have mentioned that. They're still there. They're still listening to something, but they're not nearly as interested as they were a little bit earlier. So I just need to be... Leos, you're welcome to stay. I'll be leaving in about 9 minutes. Okay. There we go. Some of them on the move again. As I say, still looking intent, but now the sub-adults have come. So it's possible that the potential for prey, they might have just moved off a little bit. They're not as close as they were. So the lions are heading off to see if they can get closer. And so the majority of the adults still schnoozing. 1, 2, yeah, all there. The sub-adults have got bored and started to move closer. Kaya is asking which of the best big cats are the cleanest. None of them. They are foul, smelly creatures, all of the big cats, even though they look sleek and elegant and beautiful. But I'd say out of the big cats, cheetah are probably the cleanest, because they don't eat as much carrion and rotting meat as lions and leopards do. But they all have lots of nasty ectoparasites, parasites, halitosis, flatulence, you name it. They're all pretty smelly. Now, yes, YouTube viewer, lions' tongues are rough like house cats. They're even rougher, like very harsh sandpaper, that if they keep licking a spot on the buffalo's skin, they'll actually take the skin off. And on a soft creature like a human being that doesn't have all that hair over it, it would very easily, if they licked 5 or 6 times in the same place, remove the skin. Okay, well, our lines have gone flat. Let's send you back to Madam McCurdy with Hukumuri on the move.
He's just slinking away now. Can you believe it? We're going to quickly go back. Sorry, I'm doing sneaky quick maneuvers here. Because, my spotlight is caught on something. Darby, just watch the branches your side. Sorry, I can't see. Sneaky buffalo thorn here. Whee! I'm just getting out. We've got the photographic crew with us now, so we might try and help them out with a bit of backlighting. We'll see. He's probably going to pop out. He's just walking parallel with the road right now. It's very, very thick. So let's see if we can see where he is. Oh, here he is. Sneaky cat. There we go. So I'm gonna spotlight him right now. As you can see, the reason why is I'm backlighting him for the photographic crew, who'll probably be appreciating this. I don't know if they want me to put it down now, so I'm gonna just turn it off. They might want to get some shots of him walking towards him as well. Isn't that beautiful though? He's not hunting, so it's perfectly fine to put the spotlight on him now. A couple of flashes as well. Don't worry, there's not a big lightning storm. Oh, look at that. So dramatic with the dust kicking up under his feet. That is very pretty. I hope that they are getting some nice shots. Well, here we go. Paparazzi. Well, you know, the leopards, the lions, the most famous animals in the world of the Sabi sand. How cool is this? Yes, I have to say one thing before the show ends. I don't know how much time we've got, so I'm going to quickly draw away from Hukumuri because he's just walking right past their car. We'll have to catch up to him now. I'm so sad because my dear friend Rebecca is leaving. For those of you who know, she's one of the directors. And, well, This is the only nice thing I'm going to say about her, because I refuse to say anything else nice, so I thought I'd say it live. But I'm going to miss you so much. Bex is leaving us. She's moving to Cape Town. She's going to have a different accent when she goes there. She's going to become very posh. Probably won't be able to be friends anymore. But we'll definitely all miss you lots. It's just because it's my last shift working with her. I won't be back when she leaves. She leaves on the 6th of May, so you've all got some time to still enjoy her. But it's been amazing. What an incredible adventure. So thank you so much for putting up with all my nonsense, making my game dries infinitely better and funnier. What are you looking for? Tears, Darby? I'm a rock. I show no emotion.
We love you, Bex.
We love you, Bex. And of course, we love all of you who are watching the show that make it just as great too. So keep sending in those questions whenever you can. Keep an eye out on the dam cam, because you never know, Hukumuri may come creeping past and stir the Impala. Or will the Nkuhuma lions catch a lone buffalo bull that's maybe lingering on Inyala Road South? We'll never know until tomorrow, where of course we'll be doing the safaris. Same place, same time. For those of you who are going to bed, good night. For those of you who are just waking up, good morning. We'll see you tomorrow.